Hi, everybody. I'm going live. I'm going live for a couple of reasons. I'm sitting in the studio weaving, and that'd be fun if you could actually see a little more of that. I'm going live because it is my protest, actually, against all the artificial, all the machine led, all the artifice. And I do like to edit my videos here on YouTube. And I certainly like to edit out the parts where I say something that I don't want to say or when I look kind of silly. And of course, like everyone else, I want to make myself look good. But you know what I want more than that? I want to be real. And my protest against everything that's artificial is that I want to show up here real and be here in my studio weaving. I have a couple of stories I want to tell you. So what do you think of that? What do you think of that, friends? This is Sam from thesamanthawild.com. If you don't know me, I'm famous for being the mother of six, but also wrote a couple novels, and I am a nationally juried fiber artist. And I'm here at the loom weaving a piece. And again, I don't know why the heck you can't see it, because I sure tried it so that you could. I don't want you to see my piece because this is one of the mystery scarves that I'm making. So I don't really want you to see it. But I do want you to see that I'm weaving, because that's the interesting thing that I'm doing right now, is being at the loom and picking the colors and allowing them to blend with one another. And I want to tell you about this mystical mystery scarf that I'm working on, this project, because I love those two words. I love the word mystical. And it's not just about being, I don't know, woo-woo. And some people would say I am pretty woo-woo. I have been teaching yoga since I was like 22 years old. And I think at least back in the day, that made me woo-woo. Maybe now it makes me sort of common since there's a lot of teaching yoga. But let me tell you, when I first started practicing, when I was 9 years old, anyone who practiced yoga was really weird. Now, of course, everybody. I have a great story about being in a workshop. And I won't tell you all the details, but I was in a workshop in my hometown, and I looked down the row, all these people packed in with this amazing, famous yoga teacher. And I saw one of the meanest girls from my junior high. She's a yoga teacher. And I was like, wow, mean girls are yoga teachers. And I was like, wait, I got to fix I'm getting my hair done tomorrow, everybody. So please forgive this situation, because that is the beauty of going live, is you can't fix yourself or edit it out. Okay, tomorrow, this will all look so fancy. I will look so amazing. Anyway, the story of that is mean girls are yoga teachers. They certainly are, my friends. Mean girls are all kinds of things, and mean boys, it seems to be the case. Anyway, I love the word mystical. I love the word mystery. Here's why. Let's start with mystery because it's a lot easier. I love the word mystery because we don't know everything. And you know, I went to the planetarium with my mother and my brother a couple of months ago when my brother came to visit, and we were in Boston. And we saw this show, and this amazingly intelligent, well-educated person was talking about everything. He was a PhD, yada, yada, all the best possible things. And he said, you know, most of everything that's out there, we don't know. And that's the mystery. And I think we walk around most of the time thinking we know everything or most of everything. And to me, it's the power position. The inspiration position is not to know. Now, I never know what I'm going to weave. I never know. Well, I shouldn't say never. Every now and then, especially when I'm doing a commission, I am thinking I'm going to make a flower, or I'm going to make a meadow, or I'm going to make a scarf. But even when I'm making a scarf, I don't have a plan. A very traditional weaving, you will have a plan often, because you have to set your warp in a certain way before you start style weaving. But for me, it is spontaneous and improvisational, and I have my ear tuned in to that divine voice. That's how I'm listening. And so part of it to me is really that's where the magic is in that practice of tuning in to listen. So mystery, I love the word mystery. I'm making the mystery scarves because they are commissions, but not commissions you're going to see or give guidance on. You're just going to say to me purple, or you're going to say to me teal, or you're going to say to me Taurus, or you're going to say to me one little thing about yourself. And then off I go. I'm just going to be weaving and thinking this piece. I know the person I'm making it for a little bit, and I have just been weaving and thinking about her and listening and allowing that to flow through me. And this is a practice of not just listening to the mean voices in our head, the mean girls who live in our head, or the mean people who are all around us, but listening to that loving voice of guidance. And then the second word is mystical. And I like to think of myself as a mystical person in a sort of playful boho way. But being mystical really, of course, is more than that. And you can think about the great tradition of the mystics from almost every religious and spiritual tradition. They were people who were listening to that big voice. So very similar in that way. To be a mystic is to be one who cares about what's not just the physical in front of us, who's willing to believe. And I always say to my children, because I have 6 children, as terms of being somebody who believes, and I have children who are very much realists, and they'll say, but why believe in something you can't see? Well, I'll say, what about love? Can you see love? We can see the action of love, like the wind. Can you see the wind? No, you can see the action of the wind. It blows your curtain or blows over your, what do they call, garbage bin. Or like yesterday, we had a giant storm. It was knocking down trees. And you see what wind produces, but you don't see wind. And there's so much that we don't see. And the mystic heart is the heart that's seeing the unseen. All artists to me really are mystics, because you're seeing it. You're bringing into being something you can only see with your heart's eyes or your third eye, depending on how you conceive of it. And then you are chiseling it or weaving it or painting it and bringing it into being. And I think that's very powerful. So the mystical mystery scarves are based on that. And somebody will tell me just a thing or two, and then I weave them, and they won't know what it is, and it'll show up at their doorstep, and it will be sacramental, a sacramental garment. It'll be a garment that maybe you'd wear all the time, but still would be covering you in that sense of magic and connection to something higher and greater. And there are a lot of words that you can use for that. But for me, and I've used a lot of words, as some of you know, been ordained for a long time. I was ordained when I was, was I 23 or 24? I can't remember. I was ordained a long time ago. But for me, the language I use right now is the Great Mother, because the Great Mother is where it's at for me right now. And so that's who I'm listening to. And that's the language I like to use. Okay, so while you're here, give a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I really do want to be here, being real as much as I can in all the ways I show up. I'm doing more lives also on Facebook, and I'm sharing on Substack. And I would like, in my form of protest and resistance for the artificial and the artifice and the fake, yada, yada, to become more and more real and more myself with all of you, with myself, more myself, with my work, with my friends, with my followers. That feels so important. There's not so much I can do about a lot of the things that are happening, but to resist. And there's a beautiful understanding in part of the tradition I've studied from in weaving, where we really are trying to distinguish ourselves from a machine. I am not a machine. I'm just a person. And then I'll watch this live and I'll probably have like food in my teeth because that's real. Oh, okay. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be part of this journey. And for people who don't know me, I'm Sam from LisaManthaWild.com. Go check out LisaManthaWild.com and see the kind of weaving I do. Colorful, vibrant, interesting, unusual, sustainable for divine original folks. Yeah? And let me know in the comments, what do you think? Should I do more lives? Did this feel alive? Okay, have a beautiful night.